Presentation Design and Presentation Delivery, narrated by Ciarni Knight. Part 1, Presentation Design. Why presentation design is important. I feel presentation design is important because it keeps all the information in order so everything can run smoothly throughout your presentation. Ditch the bullet points. Too many presentations are bullet point crazy. No one will remember 10 bullet points, but they will remember 10 compelling slides. Use each slide to build your case and tell your story. Consider your slides to be an outline for what you're saying. Try to share one idea per slide. Limit the number of slides. Limit the number of slides according to the time you have available for your presentation. Flipping to the next slide constantly and rushing through the presentation not only distracts the audience, but typically does not get your message across. A good rule of thumb is one slide per minute. Use appropriate font and size. Choose your font and size carefully. Use sans serif fonts such as Arial Rounded MT Bold and 32-point font size for text. Anything smaller is difficult to read. Avoid all caps, use color to highlight, limit punctuation, follow the 6x6 rule. No more than 6 lines of text per slide and no more than 6 words in each line of text. Avoid too many special effects. These features seem impressive at first, but they tend to distract from your message and get old quickly. Transitions, text fly-ins, animations, and sounds may reduce the professionalism you desire to portray. Special effects are similar to graphics. They should impact the presentation, not detract from the presentation. Solid colors rock. The key here is to be very cautious about your color choice. Something too bright and fun will blow the audience's eyes out. Also, make sure to use plenty of contrast in your secondary color. A crash course in color theory will go a long way. Use quality photography. Photography is one of the single best ways to make your presentation look awesome. It's also one of the single best ways to make it lame. The business people on white background look is nice, but it's overdone and tends to look a bit stock artish or flat out cliche. Just because a picture is on a white background doesn't mean it's a good photo. Stop using ugly or awkward photography just to have something to put on the slide. Remember that no photo is better than a bad photo. Create a consistent look and feel. In a good slide deck, each slide feels like part of the story. That means using the same or related typography, colors, and imagery across all your slides. Using pre-built master slides can be a good way to do that, but it can feel restrictive and lead to Me Too decks. Create a few slides to hold sample graphic elements and type. Then copy what you need from those slides as you go. Part 2, Presentation Delivery. Why presentation delivery is important. I feel presentation delivery is important because if you have proper delivery, the audience can focus on what you are saying and take in the actual reason behind your presentation. Don't assume that your presentation will work fine on another computer. Disk failures, software version mismatches, lack of disk space, low memory, and many other factors can ruin a presentation. If the computer that you plan to give your presentation on does not belong to you, make sure that it has adequate disk space so that you don't have to present from a CD. Turn off screensavers and make sure that you have the appropriate files and versions of software that you need. Include Microsoft Office PowerPoint. Do not read the presentation. Practice the presentation so that you can speak from bullet points. The text should be a cue for the presenter rather than the full message for the audience. Stay on time. If you plan a certain amount of time for your presentation, do not go over. If there is no time limit, take less rather than more to ensure that people stay engaged. Know your material. Knowing your material thoroughly will help you decide what information is essential to your presentation and what can be left out. It will help you it will help your presentation to flow naturally, allowing you to adjust to unexpected questions or events, and it will help you feel more comfortable when speaking in front of an audience. Pace yourself. As part of your practice, learn to pace your presentation. Generally, you should spend about 1 minute per slide. If there are time constraints, make sure that the presentation will finish on time. During your delivery, be ready to adjust your pace in case you need to clarify information for your audience or answer questions. Never turn your back on your audience. Always face them and make eye contact with them. Your aim is to show that you are an engaging speaker. Help yourself to relax by taking 10 slow, deep breaths before your presentation or speech. Also, have a jug of water within easy reach during the presentation, and this is to allow you time to pause and gather your thoughts when you need to during the presentation. Drinking water also helps lubricate the vocal cords. And this is the reference page. Thank you for listening to my presentation.